Okay, I'm going ahead and going to record this call, and a reminder to mute yourself so that you don't hear any feedback. I can hear some on the call right now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. The purpose of this call is to show you exactly how you can create events in either the Texas Exes website or through Eventbrite. So we'll have two sets of demos going on the website, then we'll have some time for questions, and then we'll move over to Eventbrite and show you how to create an event there, and then have some time for questions as well. And then I'll share with you all a few tips for creating events, a few things that our staff has found helpful so far. And then we'll have some time at the end for any questions that you may have. In August, we launched a new CRM, Customer Relations Management System, and we created some event tools that will allow chapters and networks to have more event functionality and also more ways to capture engagement data of alumni who are attending your events. So we think these tools are really exciting, and we've put a lot of thought into the requirements for these event tools, and we're excited to show them to you. Some of you who have been to the Chapter Network Leadership Conference may have already seen some of these, and some of y'all are already putting your events on both Eventbrite and on the Texas Exes website. So it's great that it's already being used, and now I'm here to walk you through it all. If you do have any more questions, I'll have time for that throughout the call as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So from the very beginning, you should be logged into the Texas Exes website. So in the right-hand corner, I'm currently logged in, but this right-hand little icon with the person is where you would log in. To log in and create an event on the Texas Exes website on your chapter or network page, you'll click this, and your individual email address has access to edit the page for your chapter or network. So it used to be that you would use the chapter or network chapter network email to log into the website and edit your page. Now it's just any individual who is a board member who we've given access to through your individual email address. So if this is the first time that you're logging into the website, you'll want to reset your password. It'll prompt you to do that. So you'll reset your password and have access to your particular network or chapter page. And I want to show you there are a few ways to create an event. The first one being clicking to your dashboard. So this dashboard page has your profile information. It is where you can update your address, your email, your preferred contact information for us. On the right-hand side, you'll also see the groups that you belong to. So for example, I live in a zip code in Austin, so I belong to the Austin chapter. We also have a link here for people that says get updates from another chapter or network if they would like to receive information from more than one chapter or a network. That request goes to us, and we update that in our system for people to be added to those chapter network email lists. And on the right-hand bottom side, you'll see where it says My Events. Currently, I'm not registered for any events, but if I were, this is where I would see those events that I'm registered for. And then below is just some other events that are coming up. You'll see today's the 25th, so we have 2 events happening, and they're in that section right here. To the left-hand side is where you can go further into detail for your events and see your event registrations. You can see your membership levels, what donations you've made, and you can also update your communication preferences, as well as update your profile is listed at the top underneath the dashboard. So from here, you can click your chapter, and your chapter will show up under the My Groups, and that will take you to your chapter's homepage. If you scroll down to the left-hand side, you'll see Create Page and Create Event. Create Page is where you can add a tab. On the bottom left-hand side is where it'll show up on your page since you have the admin access here. But it would be adding a new tab, a new page to your website. To just edit your web page, you would see this orange tab, this orange bar at the top, and you would select the Edit tab to edit your chapter's web page. I want to point out a few more things if we're going into event creation. The box underneath Create Page and Create Event is where you can find a few more actions. These are mostly related to chapter documentation. It's where you can submit a post-event report, a reminder that a post-event report should be submitted after any key priority event that the chapter or network hosts. So that would be anything that is not a social event. So no happy hour or game watch or Thirsty Thursday post-event reports needed, just for anything that would maybe be a community service event, student development related, speaker event, something of that nature. It could be a fundraiser, scholarship dinner, student send-off, etc. You could also submit sign-in sheets and meeting minutes. So every time you click one of these links, it'll take you to a form on a new page where you can submit that straight to us. You can also request refunds. Perhaps someone at an event, ended up not being able to come, and the chapter wanted to fulfill a refund request. You can do that through this link. And also new this year, uploading a donor list. So chapters and networks are already collecting donations from alumni and from their donors. And now we'll be able to, after you upload your list of donors, to submit that to accounting, and for those donors to get a credit through the university for alumni participation and alumni giving. So by just collecting that information in an Excel spreadsheet for us and sending it and uploading it in this link, we'll be able to add more alumni to our alumni participation numbers. And this is important because our university rankings, alumni participation is a part of one of those things graded upon that affects university rankings. So just by sending to us who your donors are, we'll be able to increase our participation numbers. So now going into event creation. So we're going to go ahead and create a test event through the Austin chapter page. So I'm going to click Create Event. And this will take you to your event creation tool. First step, you'll want to enter a title. So for this event, I'm just going to put Test Austin chapter event, and I'm going to put my initials and the date just so that I can come back and find it later. You have the option to add an event image. For our purposes right now, I'm not going to add an image, but you can add one right there and it'll show up at the very top of your event. For event address, I'm going to go ahead and just use the Alumni Center and input that information there. That popped up quickly for me just because I type in the Alumni Center address often. And after you submit the event and save, a map will be able to show up on the event for your event attendees. I think right now it just always defaults to the Alumni Center, but this page will change based on the address that you put in. I'm going to choose an event date, far out, in advance, and it's going to start and end on the same day. You'll want to make sure that you select the time zone. So Austin is in the central Chicago time zone area. Also, if you only know the start date of the event, maybe you don't know the time, you could select show start date only. That would be, for example, for a game watch, we don't always know when the game time is set. Full description, this is the description of your event. So I'm just going to put, this is a test event. Join us at event. You can add formatting to this, so you can select it, bold it or italicize it. You can also change the sizing of the text. You can center the text. You can add a bulleted list. There's a number of features that you can do here. You could also add a link. If you scroll down below, for this event, for our purposes, it is going to be a ticketed event. We do have a document that shows when you should use our Texas Exes Drupal event site versus Eventbrite. Eventbrite we had in mind for mostly free events, although you can create ticketed events, and Drupal for ticketed events. So for our purposes, we're going to click Use Texas Exes registration form link. Since we do want registration to be taken through this page, the URL and button text you'll ignore if you are using Texas Exes registration forms. If you are posting an event that maybe is on Universe or Ticketfly or another website, you would put in that URL, that's their RSVPs bandaged elsewhere, and you could change the button text, but you cannot change the button text if you use the Texas Exes registration form link. For event category, there's a number of categories. Right now, it is not a drop-down menu, but if you start to type in the event, so for example, this one's going to be a speaker event, you can find that event there. Also, if you just type in a letter, you'll start to see different options pop up. And these categories correspond with our key priority event categories, as well as we have one for social. We also have one for Game Watch. So if you're looking for those kinds of events, sure, happy hour would fall under social. We're going to go back to speaker event for this one. The listing type, most all chapter network events will be standard. The other option is private. So private means that it will not show up on the Texas Exes event listing. So this could be a private board meeting, maybe a VIP member or some sort of reception. For now, we'll keep it at standard. Then you'll go back up to the top and click registration information. So I want to set the registration start date for earlier today so that it'll be available as soon as the event's created. Registration end date will move to the date before the event. You do have the option to accept donations at registration. So if you check this box, a donation fund box will appear. It is not a drop-down menu at this point, but you could type in your chapter name. I'm typing in Austin, and you could find a few different scholarship options there. You can see Austin County also has a few of theirs listed. So you would just type in your chapter and find what that donation fund is that you want to donate to. So I'm just going to select the first one here. Products. The initial drop-down has a t-shirt or drink koozie if you're selling these at your event. If you do want to add a different product or something else to sell, contact myself, Shelby, or Catherine, and we can set that up for you to have an additional option. But for our purposes, we're not going to select any of those right now. Special instructions. These will show up on the event attendees registration information page. So this would be where you want to put any specific parking details, things to bring. Maybe it's a business networking event and you want people to bring their business cards, so you can put a little reminder there. Email automation is a reminder for the event that will go out to event attendees. So if you select send message, you can choose the number of days before the event is to occur to remind them. You could send one a few days before. And that is an automated message. The text is very simple. It just says you are registered to attend. Don't forget the event, and it'll have either a link or the name of the event on there. It's very simple. Event capacity is the total number of people that can be in attendance at the event. So I'm going to just pick a large number. If there's nothing listed in this number, it defaults to unlimited. Next, I'm going to add tickets to this event. So the first ticket that I'm going to add is an individual ticket, and this one is going to be a member ticket. So member price is going to be $20. The limit for this individual ticket is how many of these individual tickets can be sold. So if I just keep it at $999, it's going to default to the event capacity. So when 300 tickets are sold, there will no longer be any member tickets, even though the limit was $999. This would change, the limit would change if perhaps you were selling a table ticket or a sponsorship. If you were selling a table with multiple tickets attached, or a sponsorship table. So maybe you only have 3 tables at the highest sponsorship level. So you put 3 of these tickets will be able to be sold. For description, I'm just going to include one that I've already pre-populated before, what the ticket comes with. You can allow a wait list for that ticket type. And group size, that is the number of individuals that make up one ticket. So if this is an individual ticket, the group size is going to be 1. If this is a table or a sponsorship package that perhaps comes with table seats, you could put 10, and then 10 individual tickets would make up this one ticket. So usually this is just used for a table size. Now I want to add another ticket, so I'll just click add another ticket type. And this one is going to be, we're going to do an individual ticket, but for a non-member. So I used member pricing on the above is $20. For a non-member, it's actually going to be $25. I'm just making it up as I go. We're going to keep the same limit there. We're going to update ticket includes, and I'm just going to pick something random from the list. I'm going to allow a wait list, and this group size, again, it's an individual ticket. There's just going to be 1 individual. Now I'm going to scroll back up to the top before hitting save at the bottom, and I'm going to hit event questions. Event questions, you have the option to add up to 6, and these would be the questions that you will ask your event attendees. So if you want to ask for any dietary restrictions, you can do so. You do have to include their options for answering the question within the question. So there will not be an option to have a drop-down menu to make selections. So if, for example, you're selling t-shirts, you want to know what their t-shirt size is, include what options they have to add for their shirt size. You could ask, what is your preferred name for an event badge or a name tag? You could ask, what year did you graduate? And from there, you'll hit save. Now, after you hit save, it'll automatically go to the event page. So you'll be able to see exactly what it looks like. It does take a moment to load, so I encourage you not to re-hit save multiple times, and here we are. So if I had entered a picture, then it would have showed up between the test Austin chapter event title and then above the date and location information in between this blank space. You do have the option to add it to a calendar. So you can add the event to your personal calendar. You can also view a map of the event. Now, if I'm looking to edit the event, maybe the date has changed, I will go to this orange edit tab at the top of my page on the left-hand side. And then from there, I'll scroll down to the event information, and I'm going to change the date actually to the 16th. My start date and end date, and then hitting save. It'll take you back to the event page. And you do want to make sure that I'm going to go back and edit. You do always want to make sure that the use Texas Exes registration form link is checked. I'm going to hit save and go back to the main page. So you'll see that on the left-hand side, this is the events tab on the Austin chapter page. So this is where your events show up on your chapter page. They also will show up under Get Involved and Events. Now I always select Show All Events so I can see where they are, but you can also filter by your location. So right now I'm just seeing all events, and these will be mostly all in chronological order. And it does take a little while to sync to make sure that your event carries over, but it was pretty quick this time, and it looks like our Test Austin chapter event is already listed here on the webpage. Now I do want to go back and point out the other way. So we went through dashboard, and then you clicked your chapter under your My Groups. The other option to find where you can create an event is you go to Chapters and Networks tab. Then you click Find a Chapter or Network. And then you'll be sent to the list of all of our chapters and networks. You can click on your chapter, and then you'll find the Create Event on the left-hand side. Now, all events that are upcoming will show up on the very top of your chapter page, and then other association events will show up there as well, even if they're not your chapter events. We just pull in additional ways for alumni to be engaged or other events that they may be interested in. Going back to this Chapters and Networks tab, we do have the Chapter Network Leadership Resources page. And this is where you can find instructions for our, you can find domestic chapter resources have a link, and network resources have their own link. We also have all of the information from the Chapter Network Leadership Conference posted, as well as chapter FAQs, a link to the Chapter Leader Handbook, have an international chapters page, how to start a chapter or network, etc. But for our purposes, we'll click the Chapter Leader Web Manual. And this web manual page gives you more information about how to log into the texasexes.org website, how to find your chapter network, as well as how to create events. And all of the event trainings that I'm going through are pulled from this list here, how to create events in Drupal and Eventbrite, and more information about how to receive money from your ticketed events in our direct deposit form. So there are PDFs there that you can review all the information that I'm sharing right now. Okay, at this time, does anyone have any questions about using the Drupal Texas Exes event creation? Great. Well, we'll keep moving through. So next, I want to show you how to view your registrations on the Drupal website. So for example, for this event, we're just going to pick something that I know has registrations. So I'm going to pick Fiesta. So you would go to this event listing, click your event, or go to your Chapter Networks Events tab on the event page, and then click Edit at the top. And on the right-hand side, underneath Texas Exes Support, you'll see View Registrations. So when you click that, you are taken to an event page where there's an event summary of tickets sold and contacts and attendees. You can also have two ways to export your attendee list, the purchase details and the ticket details. So first, we're going to download the purchase details and open that up so you can see what it looks like. It is an Excel spreadsheet, and it will show you the event that they've registered for on the left-hand side. That is the campaign source. You'll see their primary name. You'll see if you did have a discount code, their email address, as well as the number of tickets purchased and the amount. So that is what that form looks like. and then moving to the download ticket details report. We'll open that. And again, you'll see that this was, it'll tell you for which group, so verify that this is your chapter network. You can verify that this is for a Fiesta event. It'll tell you the ticket types that were purchased. So if you scroll down, you can see that there was adult ticket options and then gold level sponsor here. So if you did have different ticket types, you could see which was purchased, as well as here's a child ticket. So you can see the different ones, as well as the names of your guests, their information. If you asked any questions, that's where they would show up on this form. So the ticket purchase details shows that information for you. Okay, so we're going to open a new tab at this point. Oh, I did want to point out that we can do discount codes in Drupal. You would just submit that through your dashboard on the left-hand side. You can select dashboard and submit that to us, or you could email myself, Catherine, or Shelby to let us know that you want a discount code set up, and we'll set that up for you. Okay, moving on to Eventbrite. Again, Eventbrite, we have it in mind set up for you to use for free events. There are a lot of options for ticketed events as well, and you can use it for that purpose. Some chapters and networks may already have an Eventbrite account, but we have set up separate Eventbrite accounts for all chapters and networks with the chapter or network email. So that would be the, for example, Austin chapter at texasexes.org email. So every chapter network has one of those, and that's what we've used to set up your account, as well as your organizer profile. And underneath Texas Exes umbrella, the Eventbrite account, that level that we have for you all is the Eventbrite premium level. And we have slides for you on that as to what the differences are and what you receive, what you get out of that extra level, as well as pricing structure and things like that. You can find in the chapter leader web manual links. So on Eventbrite, you'll log in. I'm just going to use my personal login for right now, but you would log in on the top right corner into your chapter and network page. And from here, you would click Create Event. Now it does, if you select Continue to start out with the basics, it provides you some tips as you go along setting it up, which I think is a great way your first few times to set up an event. We're going to do another Austin chapter speaker event. So I can find it later. Type and category help assign your event, just categories that people may be interested in certain events. So I'm going to actually go back to the Eventbrite homepage to show you. So for example, I'm in Austin, and the events that are showing up near me are other events in Austin that I may be interested in. So based on the events that I've already attended or other events that I've selected that I'm interested in, it points out things that you might want to attend. So you could click See More Events, and then you could also discover events by date and topic. There's a lot of different filters. So if I wanted to sort by category, for example, I could select any of these categories or event type. If I want to see seminar, and seminars will pop up for me that are in the area. So you can do this to search for other events going on in your cities and your areas as well, to see if there's anything that maybe in the future you'd want to partner on with other community events or organizations. But this is how this is where type and category play into it. So this will be a speaker event, so I'm going to say seminar or talk. Category, I'm just going to put, let's say community and culture. Subcategory, this one's going to be, actually let's try science and technology. Subcategory, medicine. Now entering tags, they work similar to hashtags in that you can find categories of events. So if someone were to just search for Austin chapter, they could find the event. I'm also going to put alumni, Texas Exes, event, just a few different tags that might be related to the event that I'm hosting. Now under organizer, you'll want to select your specific chapter. This is what links the event to your chapter page on the Texas Exes website, as well as the event listing on the Texas Exes website. So you'll want to make sure you select your chapter. So this is an Austin chapter event. I'm going to select Austin. For venue, I'm just going to default to the Alumni Center. And you'll see that a map, it took a moment, but it popped up exactly where the event is, and you can hit edit location and update the name of the event. Maybe it's in a specific room. I'm going to put Connolly Ballroom. I'm going to scroll down and now select an event date far out in the future. And time zone, for me, it's defaulted at Chicago, but you double check your time zone to make sure that's set up. Hit save and continue. Now it takes you to, this is the page where you have all of the event content, the images, the pictures, all the details for the event, all the fun stuff. So you could click this to add an event image. I'm just going to pick an image from one of my Flying Longhorns trips as an example. You can crop it and edit it a bit. It does have, no larger than 10 megabytes right there. So it does tell you as well at the very top what the pixels should be to make sure it's a good picture. Moving down to the description, I can add a short summary of the event. This will show up in bold above my event description, so it's kind of like a tagline. So I'm just going to put join us our event. And then below it is where you can put information for the event. And again, you can bold and italicize. You can also enter a link. So you want to direct people to your chapter webpage. Put that in there. You can also add a bulleted list. Numbers. So there's a few things that you can do there. From there you can add text, so you could add an image. Perhaps you want to show an image from last year's event, you could add that on there. You can even add a video and directly link from either YouTube or wherever the video is online. And then you can also move these pieces around. So you could move it in between your event summary and your body of your text. You can move it back down, you can delete it. I don't have any more to add for this event, so I'm just going to delete it and keep it at the summary and the description. Then I'll hit save and continue from there. Now it'll automatically take you to how to create tickets for the event, and there's options to create free events, pay event tickets, as well as the option for a donation. So you could have all three in an event. Perhaps kids are free, so you would just create a child ticket. You still want to know how many are coming. Quantity is going to be how many of this ticket type are available. So you do have to put something on it, but I'm just going to put a lot on there, 100. sales start date will be today and they'll end the date of the event. If you click advanced settings, then you can say what the ticket includes. So I'm just going to say ticket includes food and drink. The minimum quantity is how many of this ticket type have to be purchased. So 1. The maximum quantity of this ticket type that can be purchased per individual is 10. And then the sales channel, everywhere, you can choose that you just want to have them purchase online or at the door only, but usually we say everywhere. And I'll hit save. And it'll automatically show up. If you want to edit it, you can select the 3 dots on the right hand of the ticket and hit edit. And I want to go back and say, instead of what it includes, I want to say children under 10 are free. Food and drink. And it'll automatically update on the ticket. Now I want to create a paid ticket. It'll be similar. So for this one, it'll just be adult ticket as an example, and I actually have 200 of this ticket type that I can sell. The price is going to be $20. Now you have the option to include the processing fees in the ticket price. So that would actually keep the total for the buyer at $20. However, if you deselect that, it'll show you the $1.98 in fees that the purchaser would have to take on. If you click view details, it'll show you a little bit more about the payout for that specific ticket. And if you had changed anything at the door, what the processing fee would be at the door. So those can all be adjusted. We're going to not include the fee in the ticket price, so that if you did select that, though, the chapter would pay for those fees, those service fees, and it would actually come out of the payout that you receive from the total tickets purchased and the total amount that you have for the event collected. So we're just not going to select that. Advanced settings, again, ticket includes food and drink, for example, and we're going to keep the rest as is. You could go on to add, changes to a members ticket, members or non-members ticket. The event capacity here is the total number of tickets that can be sold. So it's currently just adding up what my event capacity is, but I could change the event capacity to be 200 people or more than 300, and whenever that 300 number is reached, however it gets there from either child tickets or adult tickets, that's what's going to default, even if I have more child tickets that haven't been sold. From there, you want to select order options on the left-hand side, and a number of different options will appear for you. And these features go through what you include on your registration forms and what information you collect from your attendees. So there is some default info already on there, but it's good to go through and select everything that you want to make sure you have. I will first point out that if you are collecting information, buyer only is just the purchaser. So maybe they bought 4 tickets, but it's only going to collect their name and their information. But if you want each attendee's information, which you most likely will for events, especially if they're seated dinners or anything like that, or tables for events, then you would click each attendee. And you can also select, maybe you don't want the child's information, you don't need their name, or they don't have an email, so you just want the adult ticket information. But for now, just keep that there, and then you can customize the checkout questions. So there are some defaults already, so first name, last name, email address, billing address, card info, so that they can actually purchase the ticket. And those are listed as required, but you could also add more info. So maybe you want to know if it's a business networking event, what company or organization they work for. You could also click Add Custom Question. And this is how you could ask them their dietary preferences. You could also ask them what year did they graduate, and then you can select if it's a checkbox or if it's just them entering text. You can select show the attendee answer to this question on the order confirmation and ticket, so they will know what their answers were. And if you just want the adult to answer this, then you don't have to have that included on the child ticket. I'm gonna hit save, and then it'll take me back to that custom question that I added in bold, and it added it automatically as required. Maybe you change your mind, you don't want it, you can trash it, delete it, or edit it again. Group registration you won't need. Additional items won't really need. Registration options. So this registration page is where you can add instructions for your attendees, and you could also give a limit to how many minutes they're on this page. Any instructions might be, please fill out all information below. Something simple. If ticket sales are closed, you could display a message to go contact a specific person. As an example, if you have people pick up their tickets at the door, they can also edit their information after registration, and you can select if you want to accept any refund request. Hit save. From there, there are some order confirmation options. If you click order confirmation, you can walk through customizing the page that people will see after they register for the event. So you could say, thank you so much for registering. We can't wait to see you there. Or you could give them more instructions. You can also have an automatic email be sent to them after they register for the event. So you would want to change this event admin email address to the chapter email address, and then give them information about, bringing their ticket to the event, anything else they need to know, parking. And then you could have the option for them to print their tickets and bring them with them or not. There are options too for setting up any registration transfers. If someone purchased a ticket but can't come and want to send it to somebody else, that's an option, or the wait list. But from here, pretty much everything for your event is set up. Now we're ready to invite and promote, and this is where you can add your event that you've created on Eventbrite straight to Facebook. So you can connect your chapter or network Facebook page to this account for your chapter, and right now it is showing my individual Facebook account, but an event will never be published to your personal Facebook account, even if it's showing up right here. It will always post to a selected Facebook page below here. So it says choose a public Facebook page, and right now I have the Houston chapters connected to my account. So if I were to hit continue, then it would add the event on the Houston chapter page. And perhaps on Facebook, they only want adults to purchase. Kids aren't on Facebook, so maybe they're not wanting the child tickets under 10 published, but they can also publish it there if they want. I encourage every chapter network to add Texas Exes, the association, as a co-host on Facebook. So that allows Texas Exes and your page to have a little bit more reach to our audience as well. If you wanted to create a discount code for your event, you could do so as well and select new code for this particular event. You could have it go towards, one specific ticket, all tickets, or just maybe it's just going to the child ticket. And you would just hit Austin 2019, one code. Maybe that gives you $10 off, or it could be a percentage. And we are limiting this to the first 25 people. You could do that for early bird pricing as well. Okay, now we're ready to preview our event. So you click preview at the top, and you can see that all the event information that you've posted is on here. So You have the date of the event, you have the title of the event, and it'll say by Texas Exes Austin chapter. This follow button allows people to get updates from the Texas Exes Austin chapter anytime they submit their events. It's being a little slow to load, but from there it shows you all the event description information. There it is, there's the picture. So your picture's right there. People who heart this, they like the event, it's more likely for similar events to show up for them for the future. They can also share it straight to their Facebook page. Here's the tags that pop up. And below it'll show the Austin chapter, and I'll have the event location listed there. And then it also shows other events you may like on the very bottom of the page. Now you can also look at tickets, make sure they're showing up okay. Looks like we have our child ticket and our adult ticket. To enter the promo code, we can test that out. I haven't added any tickets, so it's already showing here's my discount, 20 off of $20. Now it's $10 plus my fee, so that's working how we expected. You can close out the preview and then hit publish. Now for our purposes, I'm not going to publish it right now since it's just a test event, but you can either schedule it or you can select to publish it immediately. Now if you do want to edit your event, you'll go hover over your icon for your chapter network page and select manage events. This will take you to the list of all events, and you'll actually want to sort it by your chapter so that you can view only the events that you've created. Obviously right now I didn't create anything, so actually it is in draft mode, so you can filter by draft. If I were to look under publish, there's no events right now, but I can see it under draft mode. I could hit these three dots to either manage my event, edit, or just view it. But I'm going to show you actually an event at this point so you can see what registrations look like. So I'm going back to all events, and we're going to go to past events, and I'm going to show you the Chapter Network Leadership Conference page. This was a private event, so you can have your event set at private. This is just your event dashboard. It shows you exactly where you are at with your ticket sales. This event has passed and it was a free event, so it's not showing me any money that I received for the event, but it would show up in this section of your dashboard. And then down below, it'll show all of your orders, as well as you have the option to edit your event link. So you can change it to Chapter Network 2019, save. So it's a nicer branded event URL versus the very long event link above. So that would be updated for you to use. Now, if you want to see who your event attendees are, you can click Manage Attendees. And if you just want to see an attendee list, you can click Attendee List. And you can see the full attendee report and sort by, if you just want to see their custom question responses, who used the promo code. You can sort by a number of different things. You could even just search by one individual's name if you want to check their status. If you go back, you can download a list as a PDF, and you can see the full list of your attendees that way, very simply. But you could also sort it and filter it a bit more, and there's more details on that online. Okay, I think that is everything for an Eventbrite link. So I want to use the rest of our time. I'm going to say a few tips real quick, and then the last few minutes will be any questions and answers that you might have. So a few tips for creating events either in Drupal or in Eventbrite. The first one being, we suggest you creating events on your web pages 3 to 4 weeks in advance of the event. Posting an event the week of the event is too late, so it doesn't get enough traction, or it's not being promoted on Facebook within enough time for people to RSVP. So we suggest that, when you are sending in any emails in advance or communicating with us your events, to also think at the same time to add events to your page prior to promoting it via email, or at the same time as requesting an email, so that the event is already up on the website. We used to post the events on the Texas Exes webpage for chapters because our system was not as easy to use, but this one is very easy, and we want you to be posting your events and be able to view your registrations and have a lot of control over your own events there. So we encourage you to post all of your own events on your website in advance. Definitely encourage you to link your event to Facebook. If you link the event to Facebook, it creates a Facebook event for you. So you will not need to create an event in Facebook and in Eventbrite, for example. That's only if you create your event in Eventbrite. And right now, our web sync is a bit slow when you submit an event in Eventbrite onto the website. They will still show up in the Texas Exes event listing under events, but it does take a little bit of time right now for that to show up. So we just ask for your patience and to definitely post your events well enough in advance so that there's time for them to be promoted via Eventbrite. Okay, at this time, are there any questions?
I do have one question. This is Joan from Brazos Valley, and we have a lot of older members, and they're not going to probably be able to figure this out. I can just tell you. Will we still be able to send in information to you to email out to everybody in the old way?
Oh, absolutely. So this is unrelated to emails. You'll still request emails to be sent through us, and we have an online form for you to fill out to submit your email versus just sending the content in an email. So
okay, so that has not changed at all.
Just the link to where you send us the content. So
okay, right.
Yes, and you can find that in your dashboard when you log in with your own email into the website, and you can find chapter email request underneath your chapter.
Okay. That was my main concern.
We can send that link to you as well.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Hey, Marie, hey, it's John Willie Dabbling.
Oh yeah. Hi, John.
Hey. Where's my? Oh yeah. Was there a link to the Eventbrite website on our chapter webpage?
So that's a good point. So when you create your Eventbrite event and it syncs to the Texas Exes website, for example, I'm clicking events, and if I click register on the event, I don't know if any of these are Eventbrite. But for example, if I were to click the event and then select register, it'll actually take me straight to the Eventbrite registration page.
Okay.
So there's something that you need to do to link it to Eventbrite. It'll automatically sync to our website, and anyone that clicks that will be sent there to register.
What about before when we're still creating the event?
Oh yeah, so when you're still creating the event, you'll just need to go to eventbrite.com to log in there with your chapter email. And for those of you who don't have your Eventbrite logins yet, you can shoot me or Shelby or Catherine an email, and we can send you that password.
Because on the chapter website where it says create event, that's going to take it to Drupal. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Good question. Any other questions? Okay, great. Well, thank you all for joining. If you do think of anything as you're creating your first few events through either system, just let me, Shelby, or Catherine know, and we can assist you as best we can. And we look forward to hearing about all your events and seeing them on our website very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you too. Thank you.